you think about finishing, do you feel like you're entering shark-infested waters? Do you feel like a predator is lurking in the spray booth, ready to sabotage your finishing results? Do you have post-traumatic stress from your last finishing experience? Well, with a little knowledge and practice, you can test the finishing waters with professional results and calm those finishing fears. The sunburst finish is probably one of the most intimidating finishes to accomplish, but it doesn't have to be. My friend and fellow electric guitar building instructor, Mike Snyder, is a real pro at this type of finish, as you can tell by these pictures of some of his guitars. We are currently completing a soon-to-be-released DVD on advanced electric guitar building, and did a sunburst finish on the guitar being built for the DVD. Here's how it was done. We started by doing all the surface prep, including masking off the areas that we didn't want to finish with the sunburst finish. We then mixed a bit of black dye with alcohol. This was then applied to the highly figured maple top of the electric guitar. After it dried, which was fairly quickly, it got sanded back. The idea is to sand off the majority and leave dye in the highly figured grain. Now for the color coats. Once again, we used a dye that is soluble in alcohol. In this case, it was yellow. This was then sprayed onto the top of the guitar, only in the center. It is important that your spray gun be set up to spray very light coats. You want the mixture to flash off almost immediately upon hitting the surface. For the next color coat, we used a 1-pound cut of blonde shellac and added dye to it. In this case, it was red. This was then sprayed over the entire face of the guitar. I cannot stress enough how important it is to spray very light coats when applying color coats with shellac. If you spray too heavy, the alcohol, which is the solvent for shellac, will eat into the previous color coat and make a mess. The good news is that it is easily sanded off or wiped off with alcohol. Let each coat flash off before spraying the next coat. This is very important. You can use the air from the gun to help it dry quicker. Use your creativity here and spray until you like the amount of color you see on the guitar. You can go heavier on the perimeter than the middle of the guitar if you like. Next, we darken the mixture a bit more by adding a few drops of golden brown and black. These darker coats are used around the perimeter of the guitar top. In other words, the colors get darker the farther you go from the center. Very carefully spray very light coats of this color around the edge of the guitar top. Be sure to let the coat flash off and dry slightly before adding the next layer. Keep adding layers until you get the color you desire. After the final coats are sprayed, you can remove the tape from the previously covered areas. On this particular guitar, we needed to scrape the color off the top part of the bindings. This is easily done with a razor blade. After all the color coats are applied, a few light coats of blonde shellac are applied to the guitar. This helps seal in the color coats. After a very light sanding, it is time to spray the clear lacquer top coats. Watch closely as Mr. Snyder executes his flawless spray technique. several coats of lacquer with a bit of sanding between coats, and you have a very professional looking finish. With the instructions in this video and a little practice, it really can be as easy as it looks.